Hello and welcome to another identity management video. This is our fifth video in the FIM to MIM side-by-side upgrade series. In the previous videos we installed the new MIM components, updating the FIM databases as we went along, and in this video we're going to enable the new MIM environment. Currently it's using the users are still using the FIM portal and FIM reset portal. As you can see, we've got the FIM portal loaded up, and the first thing we need to do is to disable the FIM environment. So we're going to go onto the sync server and we're going to go open the service, stop it, and what you might want to do as well is to set it to manual or disabled. And why you'd want to do this is you probably won't be decommissioning the server straight away. You'll probably be taking some time to keep it there in case there's any files or anything you need. By setting it to stopped or to disabled or manual, it means that if somebody comes along and patches the server, you're not going to have to worry about the service starting again. So we're doing it on the portal as well, and on the portal server what we probably want to do as well is open IIS and just stop the SharePoint site that is currently running the MIM portal. And this way it just means if somebody manages to go to that URL by mistake, or their DNS records haven't updated for them, they still point to the old server, they won't be able to log on. And we'll do the same for the portal, the SSPR portals as well. We'll stop these from running. So if we go back to our user machine now and refresh the page, you will find that the page is no longer working and we can't reach it. So what we need to do now is update the A records. So currently they're pointing at the old servers, and what we're going to do is point them to the new servers. So it's just a case of updating it in the DNS manager so they point to the new server. Again, depending on how your organisation does this sort of thing, it might be slightly different. And you might want to get somebody in your network team to actually do this piece of work. But we're now at the point where we're ready to do that. Now that we've done that, we need to clear the hosts file. During the pre-deployment, we didn't want to update the A records because it meant the SSPR service would stop working. So by using the host file, it means that we can install the new components without having to worry about that. We'll flush the DNS as well, just to make sure it's got all the correct bits and pieces. So again, we're going to do that for the portal box. We'll just restart the portal as well, so it picks up all the new bits and pieces, and we'll make sure it's pointing to the right thing. You might want to restart the FIM service as well, but it's not necessary. So that's now finished, and we'll do that flush DNS, nice and quick, and we'll do it on the we'll delete the host records first, save it, and then we'll go back and do the ipconfig flush DNS. So now that that's done, we can go back to our user who's logged in, and we'll flush the DNS again. And what happens now is it still won't work because IE's not quite managed to clear the cache out. So don't panic, this is normal. What we'll do is we'll close this down and we'll open it up in Google Chrome, and we'll see if that works. And remember, what we're hoping to see is the MIM portal opening and the MIM reset portal opening. So there we go, that's Microsoft Identity Manager, the definitely MIM, not FIM. And we'll try and do the portal now. And again, it's going to take a little bit of time to load up because within that IIS reset, so it's got to rebuild the SharePoint site as well as the MIM portal. We'll get all the caching done. But once this loads, it will be the MIM version and not the FIM version. And brilliant. And we'll click on users just to see that all the users in the portal are present, and it's all working as we expect. Now, I've saved the registration portal for last, and there's a reason for that. and we'll see that when we try and visit the page. There we go, it's prompting for credentials, and the reason why it's doing this is because the SPN is wrong for it. So when we look in AD, normally you think about the MIM service account having to have the SPN set up, and if we have a look at it, what we'll actually see is that nothing has changed for the SPN. The portal URL is still the same, the service URL is still the same, and the service account is still the same. So it's quite a nice reason to keep those accounts the same. You haven't got to worry about going and changing any of the SPN values. However, with the password reset registration portal, something has changed, and that's the machine name. So if we go and look at app 003, where the password registration portal was installed previously, we can see in the service principal name the two records there. So we just need to remove them, and what I've found is that I quite often will do is I'll click cancel by mistake, which doesn't actually clear them, so I have to go back in there and do it as well, redo it. So just make sure when you're clicking the OK button, you click OK, apply OK, and now we can go into app 006 and add those two records to the server principal name. So we'll quickly type those in, copy and paste it from the previous one, and just delete that last little bit. Add that, click in OK, apply, OK, and now we'll go back to the user portal, sorry, not to user portal, to the user machine. We'll refresh, and there we go. The registration portal is now working. So that's a quick test, everything's working, but what we can do to further test it is we can just re-register as this user. So we'll click the next button and the questions will appear. Well, we've got to validate who we are, so we've got to make sure that no one's just sat at my desk and trying to do it. So I've got to put my password in, and now it's asking me for some questions. This is all configurable. Mine's just default to out of the box, but you can have it different questions. You can have multi-factor authentication in there. You can do all sorts of different things with how you register and authenticate the user. So that's it, that's working. We're now registered. So let's try and reset the password. Well, no, this is MIM. We can now reset passwords, or we can unlock the account. So let's unlock the account. We've put my username in. There's no password validation this time because obviously we've forgotten the password. It's just asking us to answer the questions. So we'll put the answer to our questions in. Again, don't use those questions or those answers in your production environment. And we can now see that we've got the option to unlock the account. So brilliant. We'll click next, and hopefully this will give us a completed successfully message. Excellent. So we've now verified that the portal's working. We can search for users in it. We can register for SSPR, and we can do a account unlock. So what we need to test next is the sync engine is working correctly. So we're going to create a new employee in the HR system. We'll just pick a random name for them, Simon Roger. We'll put them into the HR department, I think, and we'll copy the start date and end date from the user above. As you can see, I've sort of cheated a little bit, and the date format matches how the portal expects it to be. This is just to save me having some rule extensions in the system. So with that record's now saved, and we'll try and do an import. And bear in mind, this is the first time we've tried to do the import since we've moved those databases and updated the solution. So that's now running. Hopefully we'll get the completed successfully message. But if not, nope, not applicable start credentials. So there's something wrong with those credentials. Even though we took the key and said it's all correct, we'll put the new password in and we'll just save that. Yep, refresh the schema. Okay, we've got an error, we've got a problem. I wonder if the problem is that when I've copied the database from the old system to the new system, it's not copied that login account. So we'll just take a copy of that account name, and we'll have a look to see if it's in the database. So if I click on security not storage, that will be helpful. We'll check under users, and we can see there's no account that gives us access. So we'll go to logins. We can see quite a few different logins there, but none that we need. So we'll copy it from the connector, create a new login. We'll use the search button, changing the location from the procedural box to the directory, and let's see if we can find this account. It does, brilliant. They don't need any special server roles, but we will give them a user map into the HR database of DB owner, just to make it work and get it doing this nice and quickly. So let's see if we can refresh that schema now. Yep, that's happy, it's working. So what we'll do now, we'll do that full import, and hopefully we'll get the new user to appear as an ad. Let's just wait for that to complete. Now, when you're doing this in your production environment, you can have 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 records, so your full imports will take a little bit longer. And what I normally recommend to do is do a full import, full sync in your environment, just to make sure everything's working. We'll do a delta sync in this instance just to save a little bit of time. Remembering, we didn't actually copy any of the provisioning DLLs across from the old server. We just did the database update, and it automatically put those DLLs there. And we can see that provisioning has added one user to AD and one user to the FIM service. So what we'll do is we'll now export that user to AD to get the account created, which will set an object SID. And we can then use that object SID and account name and domain to flow into the portal, so that the user can log into the portal and do SSPR. So we've created them in AD now. We're now going to import them into the import them back into the connector space. Confirm we've got that add. A few other updates as well. We'll do a delta sync as well. Like I said, to get those updates into the metaverse, get the object SID into the metaverse. We've got an export to the portal, so we'll do the export, and that will create the user in the portal so they can log in. What I need to do is just go back to the domain controller now and just set the password on that user, because it gets a random password when it's created in the provisioning. So we'll set it to a random password, and there we go. So there we go. We've confirmed that the provisioning's worked. We've got a user in the HR system. They've been created in the metaverse. They've been created in AD. Let's have a quick search in the portal, just to confirm that they're in the portal correctly, and they are. So we know that the connection and the sync engine now is all working, and everything's doing what we want it to do. So on our Windows 10 machine now, we'll disconnect and we'll reconnect to that server as this Simon Rogers user. So let's pop his username in, the password I just set, and we'll update the domain to the my dev-embassy domain. Hit connect. And what's going to happen now is it's going to log this user onto the Windows machine, and once we get logged in, which will take a little bit of time because it's the first time we've logged onto this machine, we can then browse to the MIM portal, confirm that it's working for that user. We can then enroll for SSPR, make sure that's working, and we can do a password reset. And this time I think we will do an actual reset to reset the password to something different, just to verify that it is working and doing what we want it to do. Okay, so that's logged us in now. And we'll use Google Chrome, because one of the advantages of upgrading from FIM to MIM is that it now supports all the different types of browsers. We haven't got the latest hotfix installed yet, but we'll do that once we've verified that everything is working as expected. We can take some backups, so if anything goes wrong with the patching, we can roll back. Okay, so I'm making a bit of a mess there with my URL, so bear with me while I try and get this working as I expect. That's definitely not right, bear with me. Okay, that looks better. Okay, I'm not sure why Google Chrome was doing that, but it just seems to not like me putting the portal address in. But we'll keep trying at it, and I'm sure I'll get it working in a second. There's Cortana popping up to say she'll help us out. Okay, and I can see what I've done wrong here. I've spelled identity wrong. So let me fix that. and it's gone to Google again. Ah, there we go. It's asking me if I want to go to that page instead. So we'll click that, and finally we're into the portal, and we can see that it's working for this user. Perfect. So we'll now try and register for the SSPR process. Sorry about that. Typing's never been my strong point. Again, okay, I'm going to try and concentrate now. Dev-IDM register. There we go. And again, we should be prompted to verify who we are. So we've got to put our password in. And this is just verifying we are who we are. Say we are, answering the questions. Perfect. And what we're going to do now is we're going to try and reset it as well. So remembering to put port 81 in this time. So it's asking for our username. So sometimes people ask me, when would you ever use this portal if you've forgotten your password, you're not logged onto your machine? Well, if you sat next to someone who's logged in, you can always ask them to let you use their computer to reset your password, or you can use the client if you have that installed. So there we go. There's the answers to the 3 questions. And we'll pop a new password in that's different to what we've already got, and we'll click next, and brilliant. Okay, that's our password reset. Cool. So to go back, what we've done, we've gone from FIM to MIM. We've got all the MIM components installed, but we're still allowing users to access the old FIM components, and we've now got to the point where we've said, right, we're ready to turn on to the MIM environment. So we've turned off the services, we've stopped the websites, we've then updated the A records to point to the new environments. This worked for the password reset portal and the management portal, but the registration portal didn't work, and that was because of the SPN still pointing to the old machine. So we had to clear it from the old computer and add it to the new computer, which then made the registration portal worked. Once we'd done that, we then logged into the sync engine, where we created a new user in the HR system. We had an issue with the database being copied, not getting the login credentials copied correctly, but we fixed that, and that allowed us to import a new user, which then provisioned into the metaverse. It got created in AD, and then it got exported to the portal, allowing it to log into the portal and register for SSPR. We then logged into the portal as that user, verified it was working. We then did a self-service registration where we registered the user for SSPR, and then we reset the password for that user. In the next video, what we're going to look at doing is patching the environment, so it's on the very latest MIM hotfix. But if you have any questions about what we've done in this video, please leave them in the comment section below. If you've liked this video, please hit the like button. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you very much.